We are live from Box Park, Croydon.
Oh, Crufts. I think that was the best Crufts we'd ever done.
Because he used to be quite a shy little boy. Bullseye to your right.
I wondered what you were saying.
This is a developing story, an ongoing story.
You'd pay 300 quid for a Eurovision Song Contest ticket.
I mean, yeah, probably.
Who's got money for that?
BBC Radio London. News, information, and a place to talk.
That's right, BBC Radio London, the place to talk, is here with your boy Lionheart, but I am not here on the show by myself. No. I have some long-time friends joining me, and we are here tonight with the incredible duo that is a power couple in their own right. You know, artists, entrepreneurs, I like to say they're educators as well as, you know, event organizers. They are pioneers since maybe, 10 years, 8, 9 years? I don't know how many. Time disappears all the time, but they are thought leaders in their field. If you know these guys personally, you know they're all about community and specifically about the artist, all right? For at least a decade and some change now, I've known Nat Nye for being a lyricist, a poet, a griot, a talented wordsmith of many rights. And I've also had the pleasure of meeting Stella B, multidisciplinary artist, smelling super good tonight as well, coming through with the oils, but, you know, expressing a range of, you know, diverse mediums through your artistry. And tonight we're here talking about that and much more. Welcome to the show, my friends. Thank you for joining me.
Hey!
What's going on, Lionheart? And
Give thanks.
the Lionheart BBC London community.
Right.
Greetings to you all.
The
Hello.
BBC Radio London Familia. We are in the building. Now, you know, as artists, you know, as a power couple duo, you guys must be jumping on projects left, right, and center. Where can we start tonight, right? What's the one thing that has both of you inspired that you're working on together?
That's a great question. And well, as you are someone with in-depth knowledge of who we are and in-depth knowledge of the scene and,
Right.
and the way you just described this, you know how it feels like to be a walking, talking creative factory. So there's this ideas that's coming, and then when there's two of you, it's just like there's just so many. So you
It's
ask
like a
a good
tennis
question.
match. It's like what should we do today?
Yeah, literally. And except, you know, when you throw the tennis ball and then the other one hits it,
Yep.
there's like two tennis balls that come from that one racket.
Wow.
That's how it is.
Wow. Every day.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
ideas.
there's a lot of ideas. There's too many.
So what's the main one
But right now, so we've got, well, Stella, you want to talk about Out of Noise?
Yeah,
podcast?
Out of Noise podcast, which is released every Monday. It's a weekly review of what's going on. And it's a space where we bring our piece to the mic because it's very noisy out there. It's crazy out there, as you know. And it's just a space where we reflect upon what's going on in the week. And yeah, you should check it out. It's on YouTube.
We need to talk about that, right? Because it depends on what, you know, frustration we're focusing on, all right? If we're using social media, right, we already know what it's like. We're seeing people have these opinions. We're seeing people talking about being critical of whether that's art, politics, our environment, our community. Do you feel like the piece that you provide is through your own personal experiences or the experiences you would like the wider audience to have?
It's a bit of both, Lionheart, to be honest. Like, the way we reflect upon things, we feel is quite balanced. And we're not for the whole cancel culture of things. So we want a space where people can learn and actually talk to each other.
Oh, you're being provocative. You're being provocative. So let's have that, because peace then is subjective, all right? And you are a power couple, and being in, you know, that dynamic allows you to say, hey, this is how I perceive peace from this angle, and this is how I perceive peace from another angle. How do you both bring your dual perspectives to a podcast together?
I will give my idea of it, and then you can give yours.
Yeah.
I love this. This is great. I see it. Clockwork.
Because basically, for me, I just think it's fair that we have a balanced view and an open and honest conversation about it. So, for example, we were discussing what had happened with Will Smith and Jada, and I had a different opinion to Nat, but we still can bring those points across fairly, you know, just give each other room to speak. That's the...
Nat, you know I want to kind of hear these opinions, but we don't have to go there right now. We don't have to go there right now.
We don't. But it is about encouraging being your true authentic self. So the whole idea of Out of Noise is that we do not have time to think in this London, in this society. We haven't got time to think. We're bombarded with so much.
Yep.
And we're just saying that basically with our podcast, which was an event and it's going to come back as an event again. But
It was a
an
live event.
It was a live event, and it was just a place where wherever your expression may be. So we're poets, so that's our expression. But if your expression is to rant, speeches, if that whatever your expression may be, just express yourself and
Bring it to the mic.
bring it to the mic. And true authenticity in terms of your question, in terms of like with us two, for us to really be a power couple, quote unquote, for us to really demonstrate love is about allowing each other to fully express. And if we have disagreements, and this is the thing about cancel culture, which we're not about, if you have disagreements, that enables you to grow. That enables your mind to grow.
You have an opportunity.
You have an opportunity to grow because there's a different perspective from your own.
For my BBC Radio London family, we're going to go in. We've got time tonight, all right? We're going to do this. And this is just a fraction of what we're going to be speaking about tonight, right? But we are talking about, the Out of Noise podcast. And in our current climate, let's talk about as this an environment right now. In our current climate, there are bands of people who wish to block trains of thought. All right, there are bands of you who haven't yet found a way to jump on a train of thought, and there are other people who don't think they can afford the ticket. All right, where are you in these, analogies of thoughts or of transportation? All right, you're providing a space. You all have your own, perspective in what you bring here, but you're also facilitating other people to join and interact and engage. What would be the sole mission then for you, for the people who wish to have a voice, for the people who are ostracized for having a voice because sometimes there are too loud ones and then the quiet whispers in our society? Where does that sit within your podcast?
It's a really good question, Lionheart.
I got a few of them.
Oof.
I got a few of them.
Because as well as I want to be like, oh yeah, everyone can jump on the train, I'm thinking now, I'm like, but sometimes there's some people where you do not want them to get the space and the time, and a lot of them have been given a lot of time.
Which is why cancel culture exists to some degree.
Yeah, it is. So, but we're not, I guess we are championing the voices that are not heard. And the majority of them are quite sane with their and their thoughts. So I don't want to say the wrong thing, but yeah, we're giving the voiceless a space to speak.
And that's an empowering place to be in, right? Do you both feel like that's the role then of creatives, to empower something in someone else who may not feel empowered to share the voice? You're both artists, and artists are all about lenses. For my BBC Radio London familiar tonight who are wondering who I'm talking to or why I'm becoming so passionate, we're not talking about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. We are talking about a platform out of the noise. And for those of you who may feel as though, your voice isn't heard, you may feel like, your creativity doesn't have a platform, we're talking about a specific event that's now turned into a podcast that provides access for people who think outside of the vein of being cancelled. Now, Nat, all right, you are someone who is a poet, a griot, an individual who has a thought that inspires many, a voice that inspires thousands, all right? What would you say this platform for you looks like in the future? Because where we are now, we're seeing AI interfere with creatives. We're seeing so much development in terms of the internet. Where do you see this platform growing into with what you're doing?
Another fantastic question. Another really, really brilliant question. And basically, you said a lot.
There is a lot. We can break it down into parts.
You said a lot. So basically, yeah, Out of Noise highlights the importance in a time where you have the archetypal or the stereotypical voices that are the voice of the voiceless, the people that fit into that category. However, the bubbles that social media has created has meant further division or exasperating the already existing divisions amongst groups of people. Our ultimate goal is for enlightenment, for us to grow from having that space where any and anybody can talk. So what Stella was getting to was essentially we don't want to give right to people to offend. That's where you're not allowed on a train. If you think you can offend, we've got this thing called we haven't started it yet, but it's an idea.
Secrets, exclusives.
We give tracks.
We're giving a bunch of exclusives because we actually spoken publicly about a few different things today, and we thought let's just drop it on the Lionheart show. But there's one idea that we're going to come up with is that when we have got a platform for heated discussions, we're giving 3 strikes and out. So you have the chance to speak.
You know, like in baseball, even though we don't play
Yeah.
baseball over here,
Yeah, what is our equivalent
everyone
over here?
understands it.
Rounders.
Rounders.
Rounders. Is that right?
Do you get strikes in rounders?
Yeah, you get strikes in round
Yeah, you
two.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, strike 1, 2, and 3, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
come
And
in
that's
like
healthy.
the Bill Clinton rules.
But that's healthy.